Before we start, I have one small request. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to like and share this video with your friends. Also, tell me where you're from and what time you're watching this video. I always love seeing where everyone's tuning in from. Your support means a lot. It helps me keep bringing you more real horror stories. Alright, let's begin tonight's story. I used to work at a large store open 24 hours a day that sold all kinds of products, not just food, because of my child and his school schedule. I worked night shifts from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. This let me take him to and from school. During the day, I would sleep, care for my son, and work my second job. There were days when I was completely worn out. It was a hard time in my life, but I needed to pay my rent. This store was one of the bigger ones, and one of the few open all night in the area, though I think the company changed that rule later. When I arrived around 10 p.m. on a cold evening, a fair number of shoppers were still there. As the hours went on, the store became very quiet, and the late hours brought in a stranger group of people than the usual daytime crowd. Only one worker staffed the front watching the self-checkout machines. No regular cash registers were open that late. A couple of stock workers like me were on the sales floor, and a few warehouse staff in the back did their own jobs. Besides that, only the night manager was on duty. I was in the cereal aisle doing my usual stocking tasks when I saw a customer walk past, then step back into view at the end of the aisle, pause, and look straight at me. He had curly hair, I could not tell his background, and he carried a black backpack that looked stuffed full. He stood there awkwardly, seeming to look at granola bars, then came over and asked where the bread was. I told him where to go. He said thanks, and slowly walked away with a clear waddle. I watched him leave, and once he was gone, I forgot about him. But not for long. I stayed in the cereal aisle for a while, and every few minutes he would pass by, looking my way, carrying nothing, no bread, just that strange backpack. I sped up my work to finish and move. When I was done, I took the empty rolling cart to the warehouse. I got another cart full of boxes and picked an aisle far from the cereal section, the chips aisle, about 45 minutes after first seeing him. There was no reason for him to still be there, yet he was. I was turning newer chip bags to the front, placing them behind older ones, when I looked to my right, and he was at the end of the aisle, standing there again, still empty-handed. He had been hanging around for almost an hour. Then he came over and I got ready. He said he had been watching me, and could not help saying how pretty he thought I was. I answered politely with a forced laugh, saying no thank you. That is very kind, but he did not stop. He started asking personal questions about where I was from, and I gave fake answers. His breath smelled bad, and he had an unpleasant smell. I felt sick. He asked for my phone number. I said I was in a relationship, and he said we could just be friends to put him off. I gave a fake number and said I could not talk while working. He made a strange comment thinking he was being funny and then walked away. Hours passed and time dragged. I badly wanted to go home. Then the other stock worker called me on the walkie-talkie, saying a strange man was asking about me. I said, "Oh no," and told her to say I had left. I went straight to the employee lounge to hide. I sat down, and then the double doors swung open. He walked in, looking angry. He shouted, "You gave me a fake number." I swallowed my gum in fear and said, "You cannot be back here, sir." He took off his backpack, put it on the table, and started unzipping it while staring hard at me. I ran past him. He tried to grab my arm, but missed. I ran through the store to the front entrance and out to my car. It was the only thing I could think to do. I looked back. He was chasing me, but moving slowly as if on something. He saw my car. As I drove away, I called the night manager, explained everything, and said I was not comfortable staying. I warned him about the man, his backpack, and what might be inside. The manager said I could not leave them short of help, that he would call the police to make sure the man did not come back, and told me to return. I refused to go back that night. He finally understood and said he would check the camera footage, but I had to come in the next night. I did. He said he had told the police and given them the video. I met many odd people at that job, but this man was the scariest. I do not know what was in his backpack, and I have no wish to find out. I was 14 years old when this happened. There is a large store within walking distance of my home, and I would often go there to buy clothes because it was close and the prices were low. Sometimes I went with my friend Lena, but other times I went alone. This store is part of a nearby shopping center, but the center has been going downhill with most of the good stores closing. One evening I walked to the store with my wireless earbuds in, a 15-minute trip. When I wear earbuds, I block out all outside noise. Most people know that headphones mean someone wants to be left alone. I was in the girls' clothing section when I noticed a man next to me talking. I took out my earbuds and asked if he was speaking to me. He said yes. He was a shorter, clean-shaven man with gray hair, about 50 years old, wearing glasses. He smiled and said he had not seen my headphones, but I did not believe him. Then he said his daughter bought the same kind of jeans I was wearing. I was confused about why he was telling me this, but being very polite, I gave a small laugh and said, "Oh, that is funny." That should have ended the talk, but it did not. I kept looking through a rack of tops, and he kept talking, thinking my kindness meant real interest. He asked my age. I said 14. His answer was strange. Oh, what a great age. So grown up, yet still so young. He then asked my name, and for some reason I still do not understand. I gave my real one. He said, "Wow, that is my favorite name for a girl." Next, he asked which school I went to. I started making up details, saying I was not from the area, just visiting my cousin. He would not drop it, saying, "I have seen you around here before. Are you sure you are not from here?" I tried to think of an answer, but instead turned and walked away. His comment about seeing me before made me feel like he had been watching me in this store on other visits. I paid for the jeans at the front of the store, then walked through the shopping center to look at the holiday decorations and check for new stores. Since my shopping had been cut short, as I passed a lingerie shop, I saw him through the glass sitting on a bench outside. I left the store and walked faster through the center. When I turned a corner, he was following me. Panic hit and I right away called my mother for a ride. Telling her a man was chasing me, I did what she said and waited in a store, with many people inside. He came to the entrance and in a very quiet voice said my name. As if he did not want others to hear, I felt sick. I told the cashier, who looked about 20 years old, that this man was following me and that I did not know him. Some customers heard, and a couple offered to stay with me until my mother came. He saw them and walked back into the shopping center. My mother arrived and I left with her thanking the couple. For a long time after I stayed away from the shopping center, or the store alone, or even with friends, I truly hope that man was caught for his scary actions, and is no longer free to bother others. My worst job was at a large store chain. I worked there for several months and hated every minute. I had problems with my coworkers. The customers were often strange and odd, and the whole place felt cold. At 24 years old, this was my second job to pay for my new home. My tasks were running the cash register, watching the fitting room desk, or helping as a general sales worker. One day, while helping as a general worker, I was aiding customers and fixing items on shelves, dealing with some very difficult people. Suddenly I felt a pat on my back and turned to see my ex-partner Chloe smiling wide and coming in for a hug. I was shocked. She did not live nearby. I asked why she was there, and she said a friend had told her I started working at this store. Chloe and I had not ended things well. She had been bothering me since we broke up, forcing me to block her on all apps. Her actions were full of control, mood changes, and fear often, leaving crying, voice messages, and pushing to talk. Her showing up at my work was wrong. At first I hugged back and stayed polite, but then I stopped pretending and asked straight why she was there. Her fake smile faded, and she said it was not fair that I blocked her. I told her coming to my job was not normal, and asked which friend had told her where I worked. She said it did not matter, but I knew no one had told her. I had ended things months ago, and none of my friends spoke to her. I told her I was dating someone new, needed to get back to work, and asked her to leave. She refused, so I walked to the staff-only area. She did not follow. I started thinking about getting a restraining order. After my 11 p.m. closing shift, I went home. My roommate Liam's car was in the driveway. I parked, went inside, heated a frozen meal in the microwave, and played video games to relax. I went to bed, but woke up soon after, hearing a noise. My bedroom door was open, which I clearly remembered closing, and Liam went to bed early for work, so he would not have opened it. I went to the living room, turned on a lamp, and checked around quickly. The front door was unlocked. I looked outside. Liam's car was still there. I locked the front door. I checked Liam's bedroom door. It was locked, and he did not answer my knock, meaning he was asleep. I checked under the flower pot where we kept a spare key. It was gone. My heart dropped. The only person besides Liam and my close family who knew about the hidden spare key was Chloe. I checked again, thinking it might have fallen. Back inside, I saw the biggest K-knife was missing from the kitchen knife block. My phone was in my bedroom. I walked quietly to my bedroom door, grabbed the handle, slammed it shut from the outside, and yelled for Liam. He ran from his room, confused. There were loud bangs on my bedroom door from the other side, and Chloe's voice said, "I am sorry, let us talk." I held the door shut as she tried to pull it open. Liam called the police right away. After a few minutes, Chloe stopped trying and started crying hard. The police came, made her drop the knife, and arrested her. She was charged with second-degree burglary and is now serving a long prison sentence. I am shocked it was not attempted murder. It was a very scary event. I do not know when she will be free, but I will have moved by then. My biggest regret is not seeing her warning sign sooner.